The Journey to Building a Strong Mind. Lessons from Buddhism. In the ever-changing landscape of life, mental strength is the foundation upon which we build resilience, clarity, and inner peace. The ability to navigate challenges, remain steadfast in the face of adversity, and cultivate emotional intelligence is what separates those who merely survive from those who truly thrive. But how do we develop this strength? How do we train our minds to remain unwavering despite life's ups and downs? Buddhism, one of the world's oldest spiritual traditions, provides profound insights into the nature of the mind and the principles of inner fortitude. Rooted in mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, Buddhist teachings offer a pathway to mental clarity and emotional resilience. This journey is not about suppressing emotions or avoiding difficulties, but about cultivating awareness and understanding the patterns that weaken our minds. Throughout our lives, we unknowingly develop habits that can gradually erode our mental strength. These habits manifest in different ways: self-doubt, avoidance of responsibility, excessive control, or the inability to let go of the past. Without awareness, these behaviors can become barriers that hold us back from achieving our full potential. This guide explores 10 habits that weaken the mind, shedding light on how they impact our well-being and overall happiness. More importantly, it provides practical Buddhist-inspired approaches to overcoming these habits and developing a more resilient mindset. By integrating these teachings into our daily lives, we can begin the transformation toward a stronger, more balanced, and mindful existence. True mental strength is not about being unshakable in the face of life's struggles, nor is it about suppressing emotions or denying difficulties. Instead, it is about learning to observe our thoughts with clarity, responding with wisdom rather than reaction, and embracing life's uncertainties with a sense of inner calm. It is about finding strength not in control, but in acceptance, not in avoidance, but in engagement. This journey is not about perfection, but about progress. Every small step we take toward self-awareness, mindfulness, and intentional living brings us closer to a life filled with purpose and harmony. Whether you seek greater emotional balance, improved relationships, or a deeper connection to your inner self, the principles shared in this guide will serve as stepping stones toward a stronger mind and a more fulfilled life. Now, let us embark on this transformative journey, embracing the wisdom of Buddhism and learning how to cultivate a mind that is not only resilient, but also open, compassionate, and at peace. 1. Dare to express yourself. One of the most common reasons people fail to achieve their full potential is the fear of expressing themselves. Whether it's sharing ideas, opinions, or emotions, many of us hesitate due to fear of rejection, criticism, or judgment. However, true mental strength begins with the ability to articulate our thoughts and feelings openly and honestly. Buddhism teaches that self-expression is not about seeking validation, but about understanding and accepting oneself. In the practice of mindfulness, individuals are encouraged to observe their emotions without attachment or fear. This helps in breaking the habit of self-censorship and allows us to communicate with authenticity. When we suppress our emotions or opinions, we create internal stress and emotional barriers that hinder our personal and professional growth. Self-expression is also linked to confidence and self-awareness. When you express yourself without fear, you develop a stronger sense of identity and purpose. In Buddhist philosophy, this aligns with the concept of right speech, one of the Eightfold Path's core principles. Right speech emphasizes honest, kind, and meaningful communication, which nurtures both personal growth and healthy relationships. The practice of self-expression should not be confused with speaking impulsively or without consideration. Instead, it should be a balanced and thoughtful process where words are used to convey truth, wisdom, and compassion. A person who speaks from a place of clarity and self-assurance commands respect and influence, whereas those who remain silent or hesitant often struggle with feelings of invisibility and powerlessness. In today's world, where opinions are constantly exchanged on social media and in real-life interactions, the ability to express oneself effectively is crucial. Learning to communicate with authenticity while also being open to constructive feedback strengthens not only our individual confidence, but also our ability to contribute meaningfully to discussions. One effective method to develop self-expression is through journaling. Writing down your thoughts and emotions helps clarify your feelings and provides insight into your thought processes. Additionally, practicing mindfulness meditation can aid in becoming more aware of internal emotions and how best to express them. Through these techniques, we begin to embrace our voice and speak with clarity and conviction. A significant obstacle in self-expression is the fear of being wrong or being judged. However, Buddhist teachings remind us that imperfection is part of being human. By accepting that we will sometimes make mistakes, we can release the fear that stifles our ability to communicate freely. When we understand that growth comes from learning rather than perfection, we open ourselves up to greater possibilities. Ultimately, daring to express yourself is a practice in self-liberation. It allows you to share your insights, build deeper connections, and assert your presence in the world. Through consistent effort and mindfulness, you can transform self-expression from a source of anxiety into a powerful tool for personal and professional growth. 2. Live with purpose. Living with purpose is the foundation of a fulfilling and meaningful life. It is the difference between simply existing and truly thriving. Many people move through life without a clear sense of direction, allowing external circumstances to dictate their path. However, Buddhism teaches us that we must be intentional in our actions and choices, aligning them with our core values and aspirations. A purposeful life begins with self-awareness. To live with purpose, one must first understand what is truly important. Buddhist philosophy emphasizes the impermanence of life, reminding us that our time is limited. This awareness encourages us to focus on what genuinely matters: our personal growth, our relationships, and our contributions to the world. The concept of right intention, one of the elements of the Eightfold Path in Buddhism, provides a framework for purposeful living. Right intention involves cultivating thoughts and actions that lead to ethical and mindful living. It urges us to make decisions that align with wisdom, kindness, and compassion, rather than being driven by greed, hatred, or ignorance. Purpose is not necessarily about grand achievements or societal recognition. It is about living in a way that resonates with our values and brings inner fulfillment. Some find purpose in creative expression, others in service to their communities, and some in the pursuit of knowledge. Regardless of the form it takes, having a clear sense of purpose gives life direction and motivation. One of the obstacles to living with purpose is the fear of uncertainty. Many hesitate to commit to a particular path, worrying about making the wrong choice. However, Buddhism teaches us to embrace uncertainty and view life as a journey of continuous learning. Instead of seeking absolute certainty, we should focus on making mindful choices and adapting along the way. Another key element of purposeful living is mindfulness. When we practice mindfulness, we become fully present in each moment, appreciating life as it unfolds. Mindfulness prevents us from becoming consumed by distractions and keeps us connected to our values. By being intentional about our daily actions, we ensure that our time and energy are invested in meaningful pursuits. Additionally, living with purpose requires taking responsibility for our choices. It is easy to blame external circumstances or other people for our dissatisfaction, but true purpose comes from within. When we recognize that we have the power to shape our own lives, we regain control and begin to act in ways that reflect our deepest values. To cultivate a sense of purpose, it is helpful to engage in regular reflection. Journaling, meditation, or quiet contemplation can provide clarity on what truly matters. Asking questions like, "What impact do I want to make?" or "What brings me joy and fulfillment?" can guide us toward a more purposeful existence. Ultimately, living with purpose is about making conscious choices that align with our values and aspirations. It is about moving through life with intention, embracing each moment, and contributing to the world in a meaningful way. When we live with purpose, we not only enrich our own lives, but also inspire those around us to do the same. 3. Learn to give generously. Generosity is a fundamental virtue in Buddhism, deeply rooted in the principle of compassion and interconnectedness. The act of giving not only benefits others but also enriches our own lives, fostering a sense of fulfillment and inner peace. In a world that often emphasizes accumulation and personal gain, learning to give generously shifts our focus from self-centered desires to a broader perspective of shared humanity. Buddhism teaches that true generosity arises from a selfless state of mind, where we give without expectation of reward or recognition. This form of giving, known as dana in Buddhist teachings, is considered one of the highest virtues. Dana encompasses more than just material wealth. It includes the giving of time, knowledge, kindness, and even forgiveness. It is a way to cultivate compassion and dissolve the barriers between self and others. One of the key lessons in Buddhist generosity is the intention behind the act. It is not about the size or value of the gift, but the sincerity with which it is given. A simple act of kindness, helping a stranger, offering a listening ear, or sharing knowledge, can be just as powerful as a large donation. When we give with an open heart, we generate positive energy that nurtures both the giver and the receiver. Another important aspect of generosity is understanding the impact it has on our own well-being. Scientific studies have shown that acts of giving activate the brain's reward system, leading to increased happiness and reduced stress. When we give freely, we experience a sense of purpose and connection to others. This aligns with Buddhist teachings, which emphasize that letting go of attachment and selfishness leads to greater inner peace. However, many people struggle with the idea of generosity, often due to fear of scarcity or personal insecurity. We may hesitate to give because we worry about not having enough for ourselves. Buddhism encourages us to shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance. When we recognize that happiness and fulfillment come not from hoarding, but from sharing, we begin to break free from the illusion of lack. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in practicing generosity. Being mindful of our resources, time, and energy allows us to give in a way that is sustainable and meaningful. It also helps us recognize opportunities to be generous in everyday situations, whether it's through small acts of kindness or larger contributions to our communities. By being present and aware, we cultivate a habit of giving that becomes a natural part of our lives. Another essential lesson in generosity is learning to receive with gratitude. Often, people find it difficult to accept help or kindness from others due to pride or a sense of self-reliance. Buddhism teaches that receiving with grace is just as important as giving. When we accept generosity with gratitude, we allow others the joy of giving and create a cycle of kindness that benefits everyone involved. Generosity is also closely linked to the concept of karma. In Buddhist philosophy, every action has consequences, and acts of kindness generate positive karma that can influence our future experiences. This does not mean we should give with the expectation of receiving something in return, but rather that our actions shape the world around us. By cultivating generosity, we contribute to a more compassionate and harmonious existence. To integrate generosity into daily life, consider simple yet impactful ways to give. Volunteering, mentoring, expressing appreciation, and being present for loved ones are all meaningful acts of generosity. Even a small gesture, such as a kind word or a thoughtful action, can have a profound effect on someone's life. Ultimately, generosity is a transformative practice that extends beyond material giving. It is about embodying kindness, fostering connection, and recognizing the shared human experience. When we learn to give generously, we not only uplift others but also cultivate a profound sense of fulfillment and purpose in our own lives. The more we give, the richer our lives become, not in material wealth, but in love, compassion, and joy. 4. Overcoming a negative mindset. A negative mindset can be one of the biggest obstacles to personal growth and happiness. When we constantly dwell on what is wrong rather than appreciating what is right, we create a mental environment that fosters stress, anxiety, and dissatisfaction. Overcoming a negative mindset requires awareness, mindfulness, and intentional effort to shift our focus toward positivity and growth. In Buddhism, the mind is seen as the creator of our reality. The Buddha taught that our thoughts shape our experiences, and if we cultivate negative thinking, we inevitably attract suffering. However, by developing mindfulness and adopting constructive perspectives, we can train the mind to see opportunities instead of obstacles and embrace life's challenges with a sense of resilience. One of the primary ways to overcome a negative mindset is through mindfulness meditation. By practicing mindfulness, we become more aware of our habitual thoughts and patterns. Instead of letting negativity consume us, we learn to observe our thoughts objectively, without judgment. This awareness allows us to break free from the cycle of pessimism and shift towards a more balanced and rational way of thinking. Another powerful Buddhist principle that aids in overcoming negativity is the practice of gratitude. When we focus on what we have rather than what we lack, we reframe our perspective and cultivate a sense of contentment. Each day, take time to acknowledge the blessings in your life, no matter how small they may seem. Whether it's the kindness of a friend, a moment of peace, or the beauty of nature, gratitude can transform the way you see the world. Additionally, surrounding yourself with positive influences can help in shifting your mindset. The people we interact with and the media we consume play a crucial role in shaping our thoughts. If we constantly expose ourselves to negativity, it reinforces a pessimistic worldview. Instead, seek out uplifting conversations, read inspiring literature, and engage in activities that promote joy and well-being. Another effective approach to overcoming negativity is the practice of self-compassion. Many people fall into the trap of self-criticism, believing that they are not good enough or that they will never succeed. However, Buddhist teachings emphasize kindness towards oneself. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer to a close friend. Recognizing that mistakes and setbacks are part of the human experience allows us to learn from them rather than be defined by them. Letting go of attachment to negative experiences is also crucial in shifting one's mindset. The past cannot be changed, but our perception of it can be. Buddhism teaches that suffering arises from attachment, and when we cling to past pain or failures, we prolong our suffering. Practicing acceptance and forgiveness helps release these burdens, allowing us to move forward with a lighter heart and a clearer mind. Lastly, cultivating positive affirmations and visualizations can reinforce a healthier mindset. By consciously choosing to focus on empowering thoughts and envisioning success, we create a mental space that fosters motivation and resilience. Repeating affirmations such as "I am capable," "I am worthy," or "I choose happiness" can gradually shift our internal dialogue from negativity to self-empowerment. Overcoming a negative mindset is not about ignoring difficulties or pretending that problems do not exist. It is about choosing how we respond to challenges and training our minds to seek growth rather than despair. By practicing mindfulness, gratitude, self-compassion, and positivity, we can transform our mental landscape and lead a more fulfilling, balanced life. 5. Cultivating equanimity. Equanimity is the ability to remain balanced and calm despite life's inevitable ups and downs. In Buddhism, equanimity is a state of mental composure that allows us to navigate challenges with wisdom and serenity. It is not indifference, but rather a deep understanding of impermanence and the transient nature of all things. Cultivating equanimity enables us to respond to life with clarity, rather than reacting impulsively to external circumstances. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from attachment and aversion, the constant pursuit of pleasure and the avoidance of pain. When we cling too tightly to outcomes or resist inevitable changes, we create distress and dissatisfaction. Equanimity helps us break free from these cycles, allowing us to embrace life's fluctuations with an open heart. One of the key practices for developing equanimity is mindfulness meditation. By observing thoughts and emotions without judgment, we learn to detach from reactivity and cultivate a sense of inner steadiness. Regular meditation fosters an awareness of impermanence, teaching us that emotions, like clouds, pass through the sky of our consciousness without defining who we are. Another way to cultivate equanimity is through the understanding of karma. Buddhism emphasizes that all actions have consequences, but we do not have control over every aspect of life. By accepting that some circumstances are beyond our influence, we develop the ability to let go and focus on what we can change. This shift in perspective fosters patience and resilience. Compassion and equanimity are deeply interconnected. While compassion allows us to care for others, equanimity ensures that we do so without becoming overwhelmed by their suffering. This balance prevents emotional exhaustion and allows us to provide meaningful support without losing ourselves in distress. Learning to care deeply while maintaining inner stability is an essential aspect of personal growth. Practicing gratitude is also a powerful way to strengthen equanimity. When we acknowledge life's blessings, we shift our focus from dissatisfaction to appreciation. Recognizing that challenges are opportunities for growth can transform our perception of adversity, making difficulties feel less overwhelming. A common obstacle to equanimity is the tendency to personalize situations. When we take things too personally, we react defensively, heightening stress and negativity. Buddhism encourages us to adopt a broader perspective, understanding that other people's actions often reflect their own struggles rather than a direct attack on us. This realization fosters emotional resilience and prevents unnecessary suffering. Another effective method for cultivating equanimity is detachment from external validation. Seeking constant approval from others creates emotional turbulence, as our happiness becomes dependent on external opinions. By grounding ourselves in self-awareness and authenticity, we gain confidence that is not easily shaken by praise or criticism. In daily life, small practices can help build equanimity. Taking deep breaths before reacting, pausing to reflect before responding, and reminding ourselves of the impermanence of situations can create mental space for wise decision-making. Equanimity is developed through conscious choices, moment by moment. A profound lesson from Buddhist teachings is that equanimity does not mean eliminating emotions, but rather learning to coexist with them. Anger, joy, disappointment, and excitement will always be part of the human experience, but they do not have to control us. By witnessing these emotions without attachment, we gain freedom from their influence. Ultimately, cultivating equanimity is about finding inner peace regardless of external circumstances. It allows us to approach life with a sense of grace, resilience, and acceptance. As we embrace equanimity, we become more compassionate, wise, and steady, navigating the world with a heart that remains open yet unshaken. 6. Developing patience. Patience is a virtue that allows us to endure difficulties, delays, and frustrations with a calm and composed mind. In Buddhism, patience is considered one of the key perfections, paramitas, necessary for spiritual growth. It is not merely about waiting, but about maintaining inner peace while navigating life's inevitable obstacles. One of the fundamental Buddhist teachings on patience is the understanding of impermanence. Everything in life is constantly changing. Our circumstances, emotions, and even the people around us. When we recognize that nothing remains the same, we learn to be patient with the natural flow of life instead of resisting it. This acceptance helps us let go of unnecessary stress and frustration. Mindfulness is a powerful tool for cultivating patience. By being present in the moment, we develop greater awareness of our reactions and emotions. Instead of immediately reacting to irritation or discomfort, mindfulness allows us to pause, take a deep breath, and respond with greater wisdom. When we slow down and embrace the present, we become more patient in both our personal and professional lives. Another crucial aspect of patience is self-compassion. Often, we are our harshest critics, expecting immediate results and perfection from ourselves. Buddhist teachings encourage us to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, recognizing that growth and progress take time. By extending the same patience to ourselves that we offer to others, we cultivate a more peaceful and accepting mindset. In daily life, patience is essential in our interactions with others. Whether it's dealing with a difficult coworker, handling family conflicts, or waiting for a long-term goal to materialize, our ability to remain patient can determine our overall happiness. Instead of viewing delays or challenges as setbacks, we can see them as opportunities to develop inner strength and resilience. Practicing patience also involves relinquishing control. Many frustrations arise from the desire to dictate how things should unfold. However, by embracing the Buddhist principle of letting go, we learn to trust the process and allow things to unfold naturally. This shift in mindset reduces anxiety and fosters a sense of ease. Ultimately, patience is about developing a deep sense of trust in ourselves, in others, and in the journey of life. When we cultivate patience, we gain emotional stability, strengthen our relationships, and navigate life's uncertainties with grace. Through mindfulness, self-compassion, and acceptance, We transform impatience into a source of wisdom and inner peace. 7. Letting go of control. The need for control is deeply ingrained in human nature. We often seek to control our surroundings, our relationships, and even our emotions, believing that doing so will provide security and certainty. However, in Buddhism, control is seen as an illusion, one that causes suffering when we cling to it too tightly. True peace comes not from controlling everything, but from learning to let go and flow with life's natural rhythms. The Buddha taught that attachment leads to suffering, and one of the most common attachments is our desire to dictate outcomes. When we try to control every detail of our lives, we create unnecessary stress and frustration. Life is unpredictable, and resistance to its natural flow often results in disappointment. By accepting uncertainty and impermanence, we begin to cultivate a sense of freedom and inner calm. One powerful way to practice letting go of control is through mindfulness. By observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we recognize when we are holding on too tightly. Instead of forcing situations to conform to our expectations, mindfulness teaches us to respond with acceptance and flexibility. This shift in perspective allows us to move through life with greater ease. Another important practice in letting go is trusting the process. Many of our attempts to control stem from fear. Fear of failure, fear of the unknown, or fear of not being good enough. Buddhism encourages us to replace fear with faith in the present moment. Rather than fearing what might happen, we can trust that life will unfold as it should, and our role is to engage with it fully rather than manipulate it. Letting go also means relinquishing the need to control other people. We cannot force others to behave in ways that align with our expectations. By practicing compassion and understanding, we allow others the freedom to be themselves while freeing ourselves from unnecessary frustration and conflict. Ultimately, letting go of control is an act of surrender, not in the sense of giving up, but in the sense of accepting life as it is. When we release our grip, we open ourselves up to new possibilities, deeper peace, and a more fulfilling existence. Instead of trying to control every outcome, we learn to navigate life with wisdom, patience, and an open heart. 8. Stop complaining about what you cannot change. Complaining is a habit that many of us develop unconsciously. When faced with challenges, uncertainties, or disappointments, it can feel natural to voice our frustrations. However, Buddhism teaches that excessive complaining only reinforces suffering and prevents us from cultivating peace and resilience. Instead of focusing on what we cannot change, we should shift our attention to what we can control, our reactions and perspectives. The Buddha emphasized the importance of acceptance and mindfulness in dealing with life's difficulties. Complaining often arises from resistance to reality. We wish things were different, and when they are not, we express dissatisfaction. However, resistance does not change the circumstances. It only amplifies our suffering. By practicing radical acceptance, we acknowledge the present moment as it is, without unnecessary struggle. One effective way to break free from the habit of complaining is to cultivate gratitude. Instead of fixating on what is lacking or frustrating, shift your perspective toward what is working well in your life. Even in difficult situations, there is often something to appreciate, whether it's a lesson learned, a supportive friend, or simply the opportunity to grow through adversity. Another powerful Buddhist principle that helps counteract complaining is non-attachment. Often, complaints stem from clinging to specific outcomes or expectations. When reality does not align with our desires, we react negatively. By practicing detachment and embracing impermanence, We learn to flow with life rather than resisting it. This mindset reduces frustration and increases our ability to adapt with grace. Mindfulness meditation is also an excellent tool for overcoming the habit of complaining. When we become more aware of our thoughts and speech, we recognize when we are falling into negative patterns. With this awareness, we can consciously choose to redirect our energy toward constructive action rather than dwelling on dissatisfaction. Finally, shifting from complaint to action is essential for personal growth. If a situation can be improved, focus on solutions rather than frustrations. If it cannot be changed, practice letting go and focusing on inner peace. Complaining keeps us stuck, whereas action empowers us to create positive change where possible. Ultimately, letting go of unnecessary complaints leads to a more peaceful and fulfilling life. By practicing mindfulness, gratitude, and acceptance, we cultivate a mindset that embraces challenges with wisdom and resilience. Instead of wasting energy on what cannot be changed, we learn to direct it toward growth, purpose, and inner harmony. 9. Taking responsibility instead of blaming others. Blaming others for our struggles and failures is a natural defense mechanism. It helps us avoid feelings of guilt, inadequacy, or self-reflection. However, in Buddhism, personal responsibility is a crucial aspect of growth and enlightenment. The Buddha taught that our actions shape our reality, and by taking ownership of our choices, we reclaim our power and free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. When we blame others, we surrender control over our lives. We allow external factors to dictate our happiness, believing that our struggles are caused by circumstances beyond our control. However, true empowerment comes from acknowledging that while we cannot control everything that happens to us, we can always control how we respond. This shift in perspective fosters resilience and personal growth. A key Buddhist principle that supports taking responsibility is the concept of karma. Karma teaches that every action has consequences, and our past choices contribute to our present circumstances. This does not mean blaming ourselves harshly for past mistakes, but rather recognizing that our decisions impact our future. By taking responsibility for our thoughts, words, and actions, we become active participants in shaping a more positive life. Mindfulness is a powerful tool in cultivating personal responsibility. When we practice mindfulness, we become more aware of our reactions and behaviors. Instead of immediately blaming others, we pause and reflect on our role in the situation. This self-awareness allows us to take constructive action rather than remaining stuck in a cycle of resentment or victimhood. Another important practice is self-inquiry. When facing difficulties, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Or how can I improve? This shift from blame to self-reflection transforms challenges into opportunities for personal growth. Instead of dwelling on what others did wrong, focus on what you can do differently moving forward. Taking responsibility also fosters stronger relationships. When we blame others, we create distance and conflict. However, when we acknowledge our own role in misunderstandings or disagreements, we build trust and open communication. This willingness to be accountable strengthens connections and promotes mutual respect. Ultimately, taking responsibility is about reclaiming our personal power. When we stop blaming others and start owning our choices, we gain the ability to shape our lives with intention and wisdom. By practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and acceptance, we cultivate a mindset that embraces growth, accountability, and inner peace. 10. Nurturing important relationships. Human beings are inherently social creatures, Our relationships, whether with family, friends, or colleagues, play a crucial role in shaping our well-being and personal growth. In Buddhism, relationships are seen as opportunities to practice compassion, patience, and mindfulness. By nurturing our connections with others, we create a more harmonious and fulfilling life. One of the core Buddhist teachings on relationships is the principle of interdependence. This concept reminds us that we are all connected, and our actions influence the people around us. When we cultivate kindness and understanding in our relationships, we not only strengthen our bonds, but also contribute to a more compassionate world. Mindful communication is a key aspect of nurturing relationships. The Buddha emphasized the importance of right speech, which encourages honesty, kindness, and respect in our words. By practicing mindful listening and speaking with sincerity, we foster trust and deeper connections with those around us. Simple acts of acknowledgement, gratitude, and encouragement can significantly enhance the quality of our relationships. Another essential practice in nurturing relationships is letting go of ego and pride. Many conflicts arise from stubbornness and the inability to admit mistakes. Buddhism teaches us to practice humility and forgiveness, understanding that no one is perfect. When we let go of grudges and embrace understanding, we create space for healing and growth in our relationships. Time and presence are also crucial elements in strengthening relationships. In a fast-paced world, we often prioritize work and personal goals over quality time with loved ones. However, Buddhism teaches that the present moment is the only reality we truly have. By being fully present with those we care about, without distractions or judgments, we demonstrate love and respect in its purest form. Additionally, relationships thrive when built on the foundation of compassion. The Buddhist practice of metta, or loving-kindness meditation, encourages us to cultivate goodwill toward all beings. By extending compassion to others, even in difficult situations, we create a positive ripple effect that deepens our connections and enhances our emotional well-being. Finally, nurturing relationships requires consistency. Small, consistent acts of care and kindness over time have a far greater impact than grand gestures done occasionally. Checking in on a friend, expressing appreciation, and offering support in times of need all contribute to long-lasting, meaningful bonds. By practicing mindfulness, compassion, and intentionality in our relationships, we not only enrich our own lives, but also inspire those around us. Healthy, meaningful relationships are one of the greatest sources of joy, and by nurturing them with wisdom and care, we create a more fulfilling and balanced life. Conclusion: the journey to building a strong mind is not a quick fix, but a continuous process of self-awareness, intentional action, and inner transformation. Through the wisdom of Buddhism, we have explored key habits that can either weaken or strengthen our mental resilience. From practicing mindfulness and letting go of control to cultivating patience, compassion, and gratitude, each step we take towards self-improvement leads us to a more balanced and fulfilling life. At the heart of this transformation is the realization that we have the power to shape our own reality. By shifting our mindset from blame to responsibility, from attachment to acceptance, and from negativity to gratitude, we regain control over our inner world. This journey is not about achieving perfection, but about embracing progress, making mindful choices, and learning from every experience that life presents. Equanimity, self-discipline, and emotional intelligence are essential in navigating life's inevitable challenges. True mental strength is not about suppressing emotions or avoiding hardships, but about facing them with wisdom and composure. The teachings of Buddhism remind us that change is constant, and our ability to adapt and grow determines the quality of our lives. As we integrate these principles into our daily lives, we cultivate not only a resilient mind, but also deeper connections with others. Relationships thrive when we practice mindful communication, patience, and kindness. Our ability to remain present, accept differences, and respond with compassion strengthens both our inner peace and our external relationships. Ultimately, building mental strength is about living with purpose, authenticity, and awareness. By consistently practicing these habits, we empower ourselves to navigate life with confidence, clarity, and peace. The path may not always be easy, but with mindfulness and intention, we can transform our minds and create a life filled with meaning, resilience, and joy.